Hello everyone, this is Sandeep Dutt, your weekly host for the Learning Forward podcast. Over the last year, we have been going all over the world to meet people who are diligently working towards making teachers happy, who are really working very hard to find solutions to the challenges we face as educators. Today, I meet one very passionate educator, and that's Alka Verma. She is from Lawrence School Sanawar, Lady Irwin College, a mass communication person. And more than anything else, she's very passionate about improving the environment for educators. So when I see her multifaceted personality, she has the entrepreneur in her, she has the educator in her, she has the teacher in her. She can empathize with you. She has had diverse experience from real estate to healthcare to footwear to multinational companies, health and recruitment, training, administration, woman of substance, proficient in building a strong brand presence for products and services. With all these decorations, I think things are shaking behind her. She has in-depth knowledge of education systems in India and overseas, is working with a startup, and is an energetic person, always working to adapt herself to environments. And I would safely say that in the past 15 years, she has put in her might as an educator. Welcome to the show, Alka.
Thank you, Sandeep. That was just an amazing introduction. Even I didn't know I had done so many things in my past. Uh, but yes, what you did say is true. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, I've worked across many industries, I worked across many functional areas. And the one thing that always stood me in good stead was the fact that I was a very quick learner. And that, of course, came from my very diverse educational background. My father was in the defense services, and I ended up changing 13 schools in 11 years, in spite of being in boarding school for 3 years. It taught me a lot. It taught me the important, every school that I went to left a certain impression in my mind, uh, molded me to who I am today. And I think at this stage in my life, the reason why I feel so passionate about doing something for education is because I understand what it gave me, and it's my turn to give back now. So I think the energy comes from being there.
Please stay with us. We will be back after a quick commercial break.
It's been wonderful working with Learning Forward, more so because I've had the golden opportunity of being the founder as well as the sponsor and the first chairperson of Learning Forward India. It was indeed an honor and privilege to stitch together the affiliate and bring in hundreds of people from all over the country as our members. In 3 years, we've come a long way. We have worked with a few dozen schools. What's most beautiful about Learning Forward is they are committed to raising the bar for the teaching and learning profession. And we as an affiliate strongly support that. And Learning Forward is but a natural step for everyone in life. Affiliate has to live by the spirit of Learning Forward. And not just be in design and policy, but in terms of purely connecting with the educators and helping them appreciate what they are doing. Affiliation is more about appreciating the spirit of learning. To understand the global implication of education, you must become an affiliate. Thank you, Alka. When you say turn to give back, you make it sound quite transactional. Education gave you something and you're giving it back to education. Is that the way a teacher's life works?
The answer would be yes and no to that, Sandeep. So I'll go a little bit more into why I just said what I said. When you change 13 schools, you meet all kinds of teachers. There are the very passionate ones who you remember forever, as I do my voice modulation teacher, who put this whole passion of communication and words into me in grade 3. And I can think of my math teacher many years later who I would not remember, I would not want to remember even if I wanted to, because he made math very boring for me. So, you know, when I heard about the work that you were doing and you used a word which for me at that time was new, you said you are a school improvement coach. In my head, that's what I had always wanted to be, but never really found the name for it. And that's what drew me to Learning Forward and your whole outfit of learning from there on. So teachers give back, some do, some don't. And I think I'm talking about the ones that feel passionately about learning and have molded my life to make me the person that I am today.
When you say you feel passionate about learning, and you go on to say that teaching is all about improvement, where do you think this has led you to in your life as a teacher?
Okay. I think everything begins from somebody in the classroom recognizing a certain ability in you, showing you the way, and then directing you on how to improve from there, work on your strengths, minimize your challenges. A good teacher for me is one, and I've met many such in my life, who shows you your strengths even when you don't see them. Instead of showing you your challenges and making you feel that you can't do something, she shows you what you can do and improves upon them. I think that's what built my confidence in moving across so many industries. The other thing I do want to say is, as academics, we never look at the financial part of learning. And I do believe that the corporate environment that I worked with, or the social entrepreneurship work, that stuff that I did, made me understand the importance of finance in the life of teachers or schools or anything related to education. Because if you don't have money to run a great school, hire good teachers, or even professionally develop teachers, you are going to hit that plateau at some point in time. So I think it's all about a balance between learning, what do we call this? I'm not quite getting the word, financial self-dependence, which later on became my core competency.
This is very interesting, Alka. You highlighted that recognition in the classroom is an important aspect. You talked about where you work on your strengths and maximize challenges. And then you went on to talk about resource utilization. So these are three important takeaways for our teachers. One is recognition, like I said. Second is minimize challenge. And third is resource utilization. I repeated the three so that these are important takeaways from our conversation. I'm sure my teachers would perhaps want to know more when you talk about self-dependence and how have you been able to do it in your life. Share a personal nugget with us, that self-dependence, how it came about in your life, because you moved from being a learner to being a learned to again being a learner. How do you think that the self-dependence actually came about in your personal life?
I think it all started with my working with a executive search company. And the strange part of it was that I was actually heading the life science vertical of this particular executive search company. And one day, the managing director of this particular company came to me and he said to me, Alka, I have this very poor account which has come to me and nobody wants to do it. And I said, poor account, what do you mean? And he said, you know what, it's a school. And I'm like, okay. And why do you think they can't pay? Because he said schools are like that. They never think money. They want me to hire them a principal, but yet they don't want to pay us. So would you like to take up the challenge? And I was like, me, education, I know nothing about it. But then he said, you know what, do it, because later on our employees are young and they're going to have children and they're going to want their children to get admission into schools. So why don't you give it a shot? I did. And I have to say, I never looked back. This poor school that we are talking about eventually turned out to be the school of my dreams. Everything that I know today, I learned in my 10 years of working with admissions in this particular school. Of course, because it was a success story, it gave me the financial independence, it gave me the self-reliance, it gave me the confidence to move on to so many other aspects of schools, including learning. And today I even run creative writing classes without being a teacher.
Thank you, Alka. That's a very interesting story. How self-dependence or self-independence brought you to being a more creative person. May you keep going in your quest for creation, and we wish you all the best on learning forward. I'm sure the teachers and the passionate educators who follow us have learned so much that schools are not poor accounts, but schools are perhaps the best accounts. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Sandeep. It was a pleasure talking to you.